Stifle orthotic fitting. When you receive a Stifle orthotic from Canine Orthotics and Prosthetics, you will receive a harness, a Stifle orthotic, as well as our auxiliary loop for the sound leg. So the first thing you're going to do is take your elastic off your harness. The harness will have a ring for your dog lead if you wish to attach to that, and if your harness is all tangled and mess up, just go for your ring because that will be right behind the head. Okay? We begin by applying the harness by slipping it over the head, and a center strap here comes down, centering in this chest. Two straps come up around the thoracic region. And if you don't hear that little clip noise, such as this, if you don't hear that noise, then good chances there might be hair entangled into the clip or the clip went in crooked. Once we've applied the harness, we want to check and ensure the harness is nice and comfortable and snug on the body and the front part of the dog here. We want to make sure that the loop around the head is nice and secure on the neck and the head. As you can see, this is a little bit opened, it's a little bit large, so we can snug that up a little bit just by adjusting two straps on each side of the neck, just like this here, come like that. And feed the excess strapping material through this little plastic clip called the tri-glide. There you go. And you do the same on the other side. Of course, this is easier when dealing with dogs that have a very smooth short hair coat as opposed to a nice thick luscious husky hair. There we go. So we want to make sure the harness around the neck is nice and comfortable. It's not too loose, not too tight. The straps around the thoracic region, same thing, not too loose, not too tight. The spinal strap is nice and centered down the spine. The spinal strap is nice and centered down to the chest of the dog. Okay, once you're comfortable with the fitting of the front harness, the next step is applying the auxiliary loop on the contralateral limb. And you do this by simply lifting the paw very quickly, place it in the loop. And then you want to slide the auxiliary loop up the sound leg. And you want it so that the strap of the auxiliary loop falls just right over the hip joint. And then the next step is you want to attach the spinal strap to that. And again, you want to hear that clip noise. Once you have your auxiliary loop pulled all the way up to the top of the groin on the good leg as much as possible, and you have your pelvic center piece nice in position, you then want to apply the Stifle orthotic. It should just fall right into place on the leg, as you can see. You can attach straps. Doesn't matter if you do the bottom strap or the top strap first, whichever you prefer. There you go. So you're happy that your auxiliary loop is pulled all the way up to the top. Your Stifle orthotic is fitted nice and firmly in the front of the leg. You want to make sure your pelvic harness is nice and centered on the pelvis. The straps are right over the hip joint. You want to make sure the straps on the leg are nice and taut, but not too loose, not too tight. You should be able to fit a finger under there, but you should also have it still nice and snug to hold the leg into the plastic mold, as well as down here on the bottom strap as well. So I can kind of fit my finger in there, but it's not too loose, not too tight. Okay. To check to see if you have proper alignment between the mechanical joint and the anatomical joint, what you want to find is land reference marks of the kneecap and the tibia tuberosity. They're two high points of the leg. In the middle of those two high points of the leg is a flat spot. That flat spot, the midsection of that flat spot, is right roughly where the knee articulates, and that should be right in line with the midsection of the mechanical joint. You will also see the joint will have a little bit of a screw head right about here to indicate midsection of this mechanical joint. That should fall right in line with the midsection of that flat spot between the patella cap and the tibia tuberosity. You can also check your mechanical anatomical alignment with your patient sitting or lying down. In some cases, it's easier to do this if you have a very robust leg and it's very hard to palpate your patella cap or your tibia tuberosity. With the dog lying down with the knee flexed or extended, sometimes those protrusions will become more prevalent for you to palpate and to align properly. as you can see, here we have our patella cap, our tibia tuberosity. Midsection of that is also midsection of the flat spot. That's where you ideally want to align your mechanical joint up with. The midsection of your mechanical joint, you can use the screw head on the inside as your reference point. Should fall right in line of that midsection that is right between the patella cap and the tibia tuberosity. And if that all lines up nicely and the mold fits very nicely on the dog's leg, then you can tell that you have a good alignment. The mechanical joint should be nice and square with the leg, progressing forward. It should not be either externally or internally rotated once it's on the leg. And that's when you know if you have a good alignment between your mechanical and anatomical joints. So to remove the Stifle orthotic, it's just the opposite steps as it is to put it on. You want first start with undoing your leg straps, like such. Undo your clip for the spinal strap, like that there. Come down under and remove the auxiliary loop. Pop up. And then just remove your front harness. So once you have your harness removed off the body, after you made your initial adjustments to make sure the harness fits nice and snug, you can check to make sure the straps on both sides of the design are equal in length, so that when the harness is on the body, it's nice and centered and balanced on the body. And a way to check that is you basically just go in the midsection here where your metal triangle is, as well as the midsection here, and you just pull, and you can see both sides of the straps are nice and taut, the same length. That's what you want to see. As for the straps that go around the chest, same idea. You basically want to bring your two plastic clips side to back like such, and again the midsection here, pull there. As you can see, this side here is a little looser than this side, so you would make adjustments to one or the other side to bring them to the same lengths. In this case, I'm going to shorten this one here a little bit. And then double check. And as you can see, they're both the same length now. And once you've adjusted your harness to all the appropriate lengths, you can go ahead and cut off your excess material. No need to have that on. And once you do cut the excess material off and feed it through your tri-glide, just make sure that you burn the end so it doesn't fray. And then that there is your complete harness and Stifle orthotic fitting.